hackathon-related Cloudinary resources and where to find all the information that will help you. I'm also around throughout your time in the next couple of weeks during this hackathon to answer any questions, specifically on Discord. Discord DM would be the easiest way to contact me, and feel free to DM me at any time, even if my status is busy or away. You can just send me a message. I will respond when I can get to it. So what is Cloudinary? Oh, going back. I'm going to go over just the basics of what Cloudinary is with upload, storage, organization, transformation, and delivery. You can upload from your application backend. Oh, I got to make sure you click on my screen share, and you can also maximize it by expanding the Discord application, and then you can see the whole presentation. So you can upload from your application's backend. You can perform server-side uploads to Cloudinary with an upload API, or with client libraries, any of the SDKs that simplify integration into your web and mobile apps. And we support most programming languages: Node, PHP, Ruby, Angular, Vue, React, and so on. On top of this, you can also auto-fetch from remote locations, then add them to any folder in your media. Also, hopefully Mickey's still around to answer any questions if you have questions in the chat. He also works with me at Cloudinary. I just volunteered him without permission. With Cloudinary, you can securely store images in the cloud with multi-region backup, revision history, and disaster recovery. All the media assets stored in Cloudinary can be browsed and managed using a RESTful API and a web-based interface. Yeah, that's fine, Mickey. All the assets are stored on Cloudinary, are always available and supported by our SLA. And of course, we are completely GDPR compliant, if that matters to anyone. You can take full control of your entire media library using the Cloudinary's admin API to browse and manage assets. You can browse your media library using search, tags, categories, and organize resources in folders and subfolders. You can simplify the process of organizing and managing files, controlling access, and monitoring usage and performance. There's a lot to Cloudinary. It sounds overwhelming, but I promise it's easy once I show you a lot of different code samples that you can take a look at and copy, paste and change it to work for what you're building. Using simple parameters, you can transcode, crop, scale, and enhance your images on the fly, and manipulations based on the viewing context to deliver the right version for every user every single time. Cloudinary also offers a wide array of image manipulations and effects through its URL-based API and SDKs for easy integration with your application code. Efficiently deliver images via multiple content delivery networks. So there's Akamai, Fastly, and CloudFront, without having to handle the integration or maintain configuration, sync, and load balancing. Multiple CDNs, when combined, offer a global delivery solution, resulting in a fast and reliable experience. Let me make sure everyone's muted. Yeah, we're good. Before using Cloudinary, you'll need to get familiar with navigating your account with your cloud name, your API key and secret, and your media library, and using transformations, etc. Right when you log in, you can find your cloud name and your account details, which is important for starting your apps. And while you're creating an account, you can also predefine what you want your cloud name to be to make it easier, or else it'll generate a word for you. Also in your account details, you can find your API key and secret, which is auto-generated for you, of course, and used for communicating with Cloudinary's API and signing your requests. Be sure not to expose this information in your client-side code. I can't tell you how often I see that with people integrating any kind of APIs. You don't really need to follow along since the examples in these slides are specifically in Node.js, but the concept is very similar. In your account settings, you can just copy your API key information and it will generate this format that you can put in a file. It's creating a variable called cloudinary_URL for your API key, API secret, and your cloud name. So there's different ways of doing it, which is also mentioned in our documentation. So everything I'm explaining in the slides are also in the documentation. It's very comprehensive and in-depth. In the Cloudinary website backend, there is an option to view your media library. You can manually upload and manage your assets there. Majority of what you can do in the backend can be accessed through the API. Not everything, but majority. There's also a transformations menu where you can see a list of all of the previous transformations you have applied. Information like this is accessed through the admin API. So you won't need to know this information now, but there's a report section to see detailed information about your account usage and analytics, just to be aware that it exists. What your use case is and how you're using it. You don't have to worry about using this for now, as the available free usage of add-ons are limited. So definitely ping me first. And finally, the settings section for managing your account, upload and security, and user settings. You can change your settings in the admin API or manually make changes through the console, which is on the Cloudinary backend. So I'm using the words Cloudinary backend, Cloudinary website, and console all interchangeably, so it all mean the same thing. Getting into basics of uploading, I'll go over the upload method, public IDs, folders, remote URLs, and alternative paths. Someone earlier mentioned that I sound like an AI robot. Yeah. So now I'm trying to mimic a robot a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that everyone will be using a different programming language. Keep in mind we have several different SDKs.
She was on my group.
Battle 99, making me laugh. So this is just to give you a general idea of the development flow of uploading files. These slides, I'm using existing slides that I did for another workshop, and it's using all Node.js as an example. So if you're not using Node, you can just be aware it's just for the general concept of using the API. And you don't need to follow along at the moment, but here is where you can access these training materials and files that are provided to show you how to work with these examples. And if you want to watch the recording again and go through any of it, I can provide the link at the end. But I think the other examples I'll show at the end will be more useful for code samples. That'll really help you get started almost immediately. Yes. I will definitely share all the links possible. So I'm just gonna kind of run through some project examples using Node. To start this project, you would run an npm install, assuming you're using Node, and any dependencies needed, then copy your .env file into your project folder. You can perform server-side uploads to Cloudinary with an upload API or client libraries that simplify integration into your web and mobile apps. I'm kind of running through it quickly. I have a lot of slides. Hopefully I don't need to go through all of them, but it's definitely going to be very helpful. All the information is helpful. Every example here will require the .env file in your folder and the Cloudinary library to authenticate your upload calls, and of course the cloudinary.config for passing in your credentials. And it's good to know all the capabilities that Cloudinary offers, so that way you can kind of brainstorm different use cases for integrating Cloudinary in whatever application you plan on creating using different technologies. And I'll show you a lot of different examples of how other developers have created things as well. In this example, using cloudinary.uploader.upload, you can upload an asset using this function. Oh, that's almost a tongue twister. The public ID is the unique identifier for the asset. Think of it as a name of the file, but every file has to be named differently. It will appear in your URL as well. The naming convention is 1 to 255 characters in length. If you have any issues with naming conventions, feel free to ping me about that as well, assuming you're using Cloudinary. You can see an example of the upload with a public ID called kitten here in this function. And I had a section of error handling. I think I'm skipping those slides, but I'm going to send you the original set of slides, which has 100 more slides. I really cleaned this up at the very end. Using folders, you can organize your public ID based on folders and subfolder locations. Oh, let me see the chat. Oh yes, definitely, Nikki. With subfolders, you can point it in your you can point to your public ID by showing the full path, and it will also display that in your URL to access that asset. Also, my name backwards is also asset. Just random fact. That means absolutely nothing. With your file, you can upload it into a specific folder, then a subfolder as seen here. So you can go and you can nest as many subfolders. I'm not sure what the maximum is, but if you have 50 folders, then you should question your structure. If your assets are publicly available through a URL, you can migrate it into Cloudinary with just adding the full URL as a parameter. You can even use FTP server uploads as well by providing the username and password parameter. So there's a lot of different ways working with or accessing files. So there's local, there's remote, there's FTP. You can test this out with this specific function here to upload a remote file into your media library. Also, unsplash.com is really great with being able to have free licensed high quality images for testing and or using. I use it all the time for presentations as well. And of course, you can manually upload files right into your media library. I'll also mention an upload widget as well. Before deep diving into Cloudinary's code, try to simply upload a file in the media library, then try it through the upload API to ensure everything is working smoothly. Hopefully I'm not going too fast, but don't worry, I'll provide the slides at the end, just a reminder. Let's get into direct uploads from the browser. We will use HTML2 Node.js and the upload widget, which I mentioned in the last slide. You can allow your users to upload images directly from the browser or mobile application instead of going through your servers. This will make things run a lot faster for your application. In this example, you are creating a directory called Cloudinary course node upload, and then installing the package JSON file with npm init. I've never said those words out loud. Initiate. For this HTML to Node project, you'll need to install some libraries, including Cloudinary, .env, Express, Multer, and Puck. If you are familiar with NPM, this would be the proper format. I'm going to just go through those quickly. This would be the templated pug format in your views folder to create your layout. You don't need to worry about these instructions too much if you're using, for example, like the React SDK. This would be the index file for the layout to carry the details to the index file. And don't worry about having to copy and practice these code samples, as I have plenty to share at the end. You'll need to create an uploads folder if you are implementing a form uploader on your application. Then you can create your app.js file. And of course, this example is in Node, so we're calling it the backend file. I'm assuming a majority of you will be using the front-end SDKs. Ensure you declared all of your libraries you plan on using. Hopefully that's big enough to see. With Multer, you can indicate where you want to store the files. If you aren't familiar with Multer, it's a middleware for handling multi-part form data for better efficiency. You can define your routes and port as well on the JS file. Hold on, I'm muting someone. Okay. And finally, you can retrieve variables and the pug files. Every time I say pug, I think of cute little puppies. And my puppy's laying on my lap right now as I'm speaking. You can indicate your port and save the file. Use console.info to test your port to see if it's working. You can create a new routes folder in the main folder and then create a new index.js file. And then you define your path module with a variable, as you can see here. And it sounds complicated, but there will be plenty of example code that you can fork. You can define how to upload the image in your code with this code sample. And then define the request and response objects. Then finally, create the module.exports object, and then you can save your file. But you don't need to go through these examples. And if you are going through the example, you can just deploy the file with npm start, and then you will see a form uploader here. So there's a lot of different ways of doing this as well. For the next section, I'll show you a pure JavaScript to upload to Cloudinary from the browser. We'll make a directory called Cloudinary course browser upload with dashes between, with the same exact process, almost. We will use the jQuery BlueImp file upload and Cloudinary's jQuery SDK library. And then install the 3 libraries with this format, jQuery BlueImp and Cloudinary's jQuery SDK. What's the name of your puppy? If I tell you, then you'll know all the password questions to all my bank accounts. I'm just kidding. His name is Casper. And he's a white little fluffy dog, and he's 14 years old, but I call him Puppy because he looks like a puppy. You can include the JavaScript files in the header on your index file, and then calling out to your CSS and JS files. Then define your form in the body of the index.html file. So you have your type, name, class. Then define the area where uploaded files and the progress bar will appear, and then you save your file. Then adding some margins to make it look nice. Apply a little width and height and color to your progress bar, and then save your file. Define some Cloudinary parameters, such as your cloud name, which goes into those single quotes shown in the green text on the little line of code. You will have to define what your upload preset is, which is an important part of using Cloudinary. So what is an upload preset? It defines a set of image upload options. Instead of specifying them in each upload call, we will use it to call Cloudinary's upload API without signing it with your API secret. So you're just using your cloud name and your upload preset instead of adding your API information. This allows direct uploads from the browser and app without going through the server. You can create an unsigned upload preset in your Cloudinary's console in the settings section in the upload tab. There's a section on upload presets where you can create it. And there's a lot of documentation on that as well. You can define your upload preset by creating a variable with this information in your code. And you can see here it's const unsigned upload preset, and then the generated numbers and letters. And when you create an upload preset, it will generate one for you. You can also define your upload progress bar in this example. You can set up the Cloudinary configuration, which supports the direct and multiple media uploads. Ensure the data loads and binds multiple events, and then you save the file. When you deploy it with the npx HTTP server and the terminal, it should show the local address where the project is located. And when you view it, you'll see the file uploader here. You can or leading it. Another option for letting users handle unsigned uploading is using the upload widget, which sends JavaScript callbacks on successful upload, so you can easily integrate an uploader into your application. What makes Cloudinary interesting is the fact you can create transformations to multiple assets in real time. I'll go over some transformations, including resizing, cropping, gravity, format, quality, and aesthetics. You can transform images and videos to different formats, styles, and dimensions, and also optimize them for a better user experience. You can resize any image or video by editing its width and height. You can also test this via URL parameters, which accomplishes the same thing. Hold on, I'm checking, make sure everyone's muted. Okay, good. You can specify pixels and percentage for your width and height settings. You can apply automatic width using W_auto to automatically resize your assets. You can use responsive resizing with W_auto and C_scale. And all of these transformations and options are all listed in the docs as well. You can dynamically resize and scale images based on resolution and viewport dimensions of the viewing device. And check out responsivebreakpoints.com for more information on working with dimensions. There's several different cropping options, especially automatic cropping or even automatic cropping based on location or facial recognition. And I think we're good on everyone being muted. Scale will change the size of the asset to the exact given width and height. Fit will resize it to take up as much space as possible. There's a few more cropping options that is also mentioned thoroughly in the documentation, which I will show you in the end. Does someone need to be muted? No, it looks good to me. You can crop with a given width and height and also use pad for resizing the image to fill the given width and height. You can test this out by attempting to resize and crop one of your images or videos with this technique in the code sample here. I have that person muted on my end. You know what? I think it's just muted for me and not completely. Okay, I'm doing it. There we go. There's an off or mute. And server mute. Okay, I'm doing this correctly now. There we go. Everything good? No problem. That's why I'm like, I don't hear anything. What do you mean? I had muted it on my end only. For how long I've been using Discord, I'm surprised. I don't usually run events specifically on Discord. Well, not enough experience at least. Thanks to all of you, I'm becoming more experienced, and we'll make sure this is set up with a better method tomorrow. So with gravity, you can specify the location in the image to focus for your transformation. Compass will crop to a certain location. Face will detect the face, and faces will detect multiple faces on your image or video. Auto Classic will automatically select important areas of the image, and Auto Subject applies deep learning algorithms to identify the most attractive part of the image, or what it thinks your eyes will look at first. Auto Object will automatically crop the image while giving the highest priority to a specific object in the asset. Try to resize and crop an image or video on your own to practice working with the Cloudinary API. Format is very helpful as you can convert any assets to a different format. You can also allow Cloudinary to deliver the optimal format with F_auto. Quality will automatically increase the quality of the asset with Q_auto for images and VC_auto for video. Actually, how much time do I have left for the presentation? If we're limited on time, I can cut this short and go straight to the other resources. So just let me know in the chat. You can round your corners of an image using R_max for maximum rounded corners. You can use a number to define the percentage of rounding the corner. Max will default to 100%, as you can see here, like a little profile picture. You can add solid borders around your content and use RGB hex colors to define the color. You can pad your asset with a chosen background color, or you can even have Cloudinary automatically set the background color with B_auto. Using effects and filters, you can change the asset's visual appearance, such as grayscale. There's a lot of predefined options found in the documentation as well. With the effects and filters, I'll probably go over that more by lots of links. I have 30 minutes more. Okay, perfect. I will make sure not to go over. You can use E_improve to improve the asset's visual appearance with color, contrast, and lightness. Using art, filter, and the name of the filter, you can add even more options for effects. So there's a lot you can do with the images and really changing it or improving it, making it look fancy. Try creating a transformation on your own. Try resizing it, cropping it, adding gravity, changing the format and quality, and adding a filter all in one.
What is he here?
I will go over some overlays and chain transformations, but for now, just overlays is the important part to know. You can add an image over the base of an image with the overlay parameter. As you can see in this example, the Cloudinary logo is overlaid onto a flower image and it's pulling the images using the public ID. I'm taking off my jacket. It was really, really cold this morning, but it got a little warm. You can also do the same thing with text overlays. In this example, we are overlaying the word bees over the flower image. You can define the font family and size of the text as well as the color of the text. And you can use custom fonts too. So there's a whole documentation area using custom fonts, which I got to play around with. Try to create your own image or text overlay with the SDK you plan on using, and just seeing different options and things you can do. Chain transformations, which I had a hard time wrapping my head around at the very beginning. They're predefined sets of transformations that you can automatically execute. You can use multiple sets of transformations. And this gets a little complicated. You won't really need to know this for the content hackathon, but it's just good to know that you can do this. A use case around the chain transformation is resizing and cropping an original image, then changing the shape of the cropped image. You can even reuse your saved transformation sets and reuse it for other assets. So instead of doing 6 different transformations, you can give that set of 6 transformations a name, and then having another set of transformations another name, and then you can just execute those named transformations, and then it'll be an array of transformations. Sounds a little brain twister. You can also add multiple overlays on one image using chain transformations. Duel says, I think it is as long as your cute puppy stays on your legs. Yep, he hasn't slipped off yet. I'll go over a few things you can do with transforming videos, such as trimming, concatenating, video codec settings, accelerate, reverse, and so on. Trimming a video is exactly how it sounds. Think of it like cropping an image, but you are cropping a video to a set duration by specifying the start and end time. Concatenating is when you are splicing things up. You're taking pieces of multiple videos and combining it into one video, all in an API call. With VC_auto, it will automatically add a video codec setting. Accelerate, using E_accelerate in URLs, you can speed up or slow down the video playback speed. Using E_reverse, you can play the video backwards, such as if you want to create a video of someone sketching an art and you want to see it being played backwards or even in slow motion. Also, all the URLs you can access on the slides. So you can take a look at how it works, and you can just change the parameters to kind of test it out. Boomerang will create a video clip that will play forward, then backwards. And then if you set the E_loop, it'll just keep looping back and forth. Preview generates the video preview automatically using the duration option. It basically creates an image from your video for the preview. Fade is exactly how it sounds. It will fade at the beginning or at the end of the video, depending on how you set it up. You can set how many seconds to fade for each section, beginning and end. You can deliver image thumbnails of any frame within an uploaded video. Specify the image format first, then you can control which frame using the start_offset parameter. Now that I provided an overload of information about Cloudinary, I want to demonstrate some real-life use cases integrating Cloudinary based on what technologies you are using. I'll go ahead and show you this now, and then show you where you can find resources and more code samples and tools for using Cloudinary. So let me exit out. I'm sharing my whole monitor, so you should be able to see my browser as soon as I close this. Okay. Yep, perfect. So going to mediajams.dev, I'll post it in the chat. If you type in, let's say you're building with React, so I'm going to type in React, and it'll show you all sorts of use cases using multiple technologies using React. So for example, this one's like creating Netflix-style overlay transitions, creating custom user reports with Redwood, creating a video blog in Next.js, creating a VR app with Redwood. Let's just, oh, did I press enter? Let me clear this again. Worked fine for me, but I was using a different browser, so I'll take a look at that. But this is an application that was recently released for the community from Cloudinary. It's the community of developers creating basically developer content with sandbox code samples. So I'll just go ahead and open one. Let's open the first one. So it has a GitHub URL and a code demo for each one. And it shows you step-by-step setting up your React app, npm run, start. And then you can see the application executing here and what code is being used and how it's used. Well done on that. Let's see, view. I think there's a lot more view content. How to upload images in Vue with drag and drop. This one's embedded right here. So definitely check out that URL, mediajams.dev, to kind of give you an idea of working with different technologies. I won't wait for that. Oh, just another second. Okay, that's still loading. Another thing is the Cloudinary resources list. I kind of threw together a list of links that you may find helpful. Let me know if you can view that. So the first link is created by Shadipo Ayomad, which is very useful. I open this link here, and there's a section on contents, community, a lot of different articles of use cases, like moving from self-hosted image service to Cloudinary, overlay glasses, masks on avatars with Vue.js and Cloudinary. Pretty good list going on here. And then scrolling to the bottom, that's a long list. There's some articles that are in different languages, and then video tutorials, a lot of different use cases. And then going down, there's some presentations. And then here's a list of tools: Laravel SDK, Cloudinary NPM, React Library, WordPress Cloudinary, the Cloudinary CLI, etc. Oh, thank you. I'll delete my link now. Perfect. Another link is 5 ways for integrating Cloudinary Video Player into React apps. I thought it was an excellent article as it has a code sample, a demo, the code, the demo, and a code sandbox, which also has the demo there too. So her content is pretty efficient for developers. And if you are using React, you will really like this section, using React hooks. If you want to use the React SDK, this will be like an easier way to just kind of throw it in and make it work and have your own uploader. So there's the how-to and the code to use here. There's also a video of Dom explaining how to use the React hooks. And going down, I put a link to the React SDK, the Vue.js SDK, and in these documentations, you can also find all the other SDKs on the list. I would recommend using the SDK version 1 if you need a lot of resources while working with it. SDK version 2 is, I would say, cleaner to work with, but there's not a lot of documentation about it, so I wouldn't be able to help as much. So that's up to you which one you want to use. We just released the version 2 just not too long ago. And another interesting link, build a mini Flix in 10 minutes. And creating an API with Python Flask to upload files to Cloudinary. And then we have Cloudinary training GitHub repo. So this is like a lot of different examples of specifically working with Cloudinary that doesn't involve integrations. And I just posted a couple of code pen samples if you prefer that. Basic image video display with transformations. That was working yesterday, but it's okay. Single file uploader with response data. So you can upload and it'll go straight. Make sure you, if you fork it, just make sure you update the JS code to use your cloud name and other information. And then here's a multiple file uploader. So instead of uploading individual files, you're uploading multiple files using the upload widget. So this will allow you to upload several files at once. So this is like the upload widget version 2. And then you can see the source code here since it's on glitch.com. So yeah. Lots of good resources. If you feel like there's the list is missing resources, just send me a DM and say, can you add some links related to trying to use X tool or whatever? Just let me know, and I'm happy to help. But all in all, that is it for me. Please do feel free to DM me at any time. Don't feel like you're bothering me at all. I will respond when I can. Even though I'm always busy, I will do my best to make time to be responsive. Thank you very much. I will stop streaming.
Thank you very much, Tessa.
Of course.
That was great. I need to head back to reality since you've been streaming. So does anyone have any questions?